Welcome to Tata Crucible Campus Quiz 2024. For 20 years, we've been leading the way, sparking curiosity and discovering the brightest minds across India, with the legends who've made this journey unforgettable. Your quizmaster, the one and only Pick Brain, and the ever-energetic Rashmi Furtado. And now it's time to kick off the Jharkhand cluster final.
Welcome back for the next cluster of the day. That's the cluster final from Odisha. So let's get started by inviting all of our finalists on stage. As first finalist here today, joining us representing NIT Rourkela is Paras. On table number 2, representing IIM Sambalpur is Siddhant. Following Siddhant, on table number 3, representing SOA University, that's the Shrishti University if I'm not wrong, is Ashish. Shiksha University on table number 3. On table number 4, representing XIMB is Kevin. To my left, on table number 5 from XIMB again is Shritam. Following Shritam, representing XIMB again is Preeti. As our 7th finalist here today, representing KIIT is Anishka. Completing this lineup here today, representing KIIT again is Harsh.
जाएगा बोला जाएगा इस सब को बताएगा जाएगा बोला जाएगा इस सब को बताएगा.
This is Baba Now and this is BB Now. Matlab Big Basket Now. Delivering in 10 minutes.
So let's get started with the first round of this quiz. Coming up is domain expertise. Here we go. The domains of the questions will appear before the questions. Keep that in mind, and also keep in mind that this is a business quiz when you give me that answer. Let's get started with the first question of this cluster final. Coming up is the domain of first question, history. All right, let's take a look at the question. Here we go. How do we know this Kali Mati? Go ahead, Siddhant.
It's Tata Nagar railway station.
The Tata Nagar railway station, Kali Mati railway station is now the Tata Nagar railway station. Plus 20. Absolutely right. Well answered. And if you recognize the visual with that, and that is how you're giving me the answer, I know what to infer from that. Is very well prepared. Let's move on to the next question. That's question number 2. Trivia is what we're looking at. All you need to do is identify this person. Here we go. That, of course, is his book. Go ahead, Paras.
Subrata Bakchi.
Subrata Bakchi is absolutely right. Plus 20 on that to Paras. Go Kiss the World is the book authored by him. In this belt, I thought Subrata Bakchi is something or someone among all of you would definitely crack. Let's move on to the next one. Origins is what we are looking at. Coming up is the question. Here we go. Where in entertainment world?
This is the shrimp company from the movie Forrest Gump.
They do not allow me to complete my question, but they're allowed to do that. Plus 20. Absolutely right. If you know the answer, just go for it. You do not have to wait for us to complete the question. Absolutely right. This is the shrimp company from the movie The Forrest Gump. All right. And of course, we have our entertainment partner right there on the screen, Tata Play Binge. Paras getting 20 on that one. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 4. Identity is what we're looking at. Here we go. Identify the company that manufactures and markets various types of biscuits, including cookies, creams, crackers, digestive, and glucose. You can either identify her or the company. Either or, I will give you the points. Yes.
Nutri Choice.
I need the name of the company. NutriChoice is still not the right answer. Minus 20 on that. All right. Preeti on the buzzer. Go ahead.
Parle.
Not Parle. Minus 20 on that as well. Anyone who would like to try? Acquired huge brand from our country. Her name is Rajni Bector. And the better known brand from the company is Cremica. But the parent company, the name that I was looking for is Mrs. Bector's Food Specialties. Okay. If you go and check these tiny little ketchup packets that would have Cremica on it. Okay. It's a quiet little company, but very huge in our country. Let's move on to the next one. Women leaders. The question coming up on your screen. Here we go. From the world of philanthropy, all I need you to do is identify this princess. World of philanthropy, I said, she championed the rights of women. She also, and this specifically happened during World War II, and she witnessed a mother losing a child. So she created hospitals, and she basically made healthcare more towards women, pro-women sort of healthcare. That is what she created. Huge philanthropist from our country. I said princess. She was a princess. All right, no one trying on this one. Her name is Princess Nilofer of Hyderabad. Huge philanthropist and did a lot for the cause of women in our country. She was actually one of the pioneers who worked for the cause of women in our country. Let's move on to the next question. That would be question number 6. Tribute is what we are looking at. Coming up is the question. Which fictional series would you associate? Go ahead, Siddhant.
Mirzapur.
Mirzapur, the Tripathi Carpet Company from the world of Mirzapur, which did extremely well. Did extremely well also means high income. Plus 20 to Siddhant on that. Absolutely right. Let's move on into the next question. Coming up is question number 7 from the world of Tatas. Question coming up. Here we go. Identify the company from this ad. All right, on table number 5. Go ahead, Shritam.
It's Tata Play Binge.
He says it's Tata Play Binge. Netflix goes Jingalala. Absolutely right. Plus 20 to him on that. All right. We play these tricks sometimes. Sometimes it works, sometimes it does not. Believe me, I have seen people taking negatives on questions like this as well. But he gets his plus 20. Played well there. Let's move on into the next question. Question number 8. Leaders. From the world of leaders, coming up is this question. Here we go. Who is this inspiring lady? She is a scientist and has assumed many posts of leadership in scientific research, more to do with space research in our country. And when I say leadership positions, I mean, director, those kind of positions. And if I'm not wrong, she's one of the first ladies from our country to hold such positions in space research. She's worked even in the Agni missile projects, those kind of projects as well. I'm speaking out of memory here. Oh, huge name from our country. No one going on this one. All right. I'm going to take the liberty of telling all of you to please do some homework on her. She's a huge, huge achiever from our country. Her name is Tessie Thomas. You would have probably heard her name, but may not recognize her from her younger days. Tessie Thomas is her name, leading scientist for space research from our country. Let's move on into the next question. That's question number 9. Mascots is what we're looking at. Here we go. Which famous brand found in our kitchens is this? Go ahead, Siddhant.
Goldie Masale.
Goldie Masale, absolutely right. He gets a plus 20 on that one. He seems to be doing well on brands. Plus 20 on that. Scoring very well as well. The last one from this round, celebrities is what we are looking at. From the image on the screen that will come up, you will have to tell me the name of this lady. This is her brand. On table number 1, Paras, go ahead.
Victoria Beckham of Spice Girls.
Victoria, I like what you said of Spice Girls. Plus 20 to you. Absolutely right. So I have a constant struggle when people say Victoria Beckham, David Beckham's wife. I do not like that. Spice Girls. Absolutely right. Plus 20 to you on that. All right. Time for us to move on further with this quiz, ladies and gentlemen. And time for me to invite Big Brain back on stage. Over to you, Big Brain.
गुड मॉर्निंग बच्चों, आज हम पढ़ेंगे कि 4 गुणा 4 16 नहीं 199 होते हैं।
कैसे सर?
अरे बताता हूँ। सबसे पहले तो टाटा प्ले बिंज ऐप डाउनलोड करो।
ओके सर।
यहाँ मिलेंगे 30+ OTT ऐप्स। उनमें से डिज्नी प्लस, हॉटस्टार और Z5 जैसे अपनी पसंद के कोई भी 4 ऐप सिलेक्ट करो।
कर लिया सर।
और इन चारों ऐप्स का सारा कंटेंट देखो एक ही बिंज ऐप पर।
वाव सर।
और चाहो तो 4 अलग अलग स्क्रीन पर भी देख लो। ये सब मिलेगा सिर्फ 199 रुपीज पर मंथ में। तो हो गए ना 4 गुना 4 199। टाटा प्ले बिंज, सब्सक्राइब नाउ।
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very different cluster final. More courage, more hits onto the buzzer. The Northeast seemed, I think, to know more answers but refused to press the buzzer. This time around, they're taking their chances, which is the way to play. Sometimes formats like this are like a T20 match. You got to score, you lose some wickets, so be it. On to the next round. Let's see what happens. Time for string theory. Here it is. On string theory, you got to string your theory and give me an overall answer, starting with the first one on your screens now. All of these will lead you to a large conglomerate or group in India. World of business. Hit. Real good chicken. A famous lady would be the future. She's, of course, in a leadership role already. Given her age, I would say future. Darling is another brand from them. All you got to tell me is which Indian group is this. Real good chicken is a good clue. Very few would know they are in the chicken business. Hit. So commonly used by us. Nobody taking a chance on that. Two of them on 60. They both know they have a good chance to go into the zonals. The others will have to take their chances. Well, with the number of B schools on stage, I thought they would hit this one. The answer is Godrej. Godrej is a simple one to miss, or it's a simple one to not hit at a final like this. Here's the next one on your screens now. String this together to a great author, thinker from India who came up with the philosophy of fortune at the bottom of the pyramid. He was the first one to give this theory that there's a lot of money in small cities and towns of India and across the world. It later got described as the Dhoni effect, which is the rise of small towns. But this man propagated that there's a huge amount of income for companies, which made people like Unilever, Procter & Gamble, Tatas look at small towns for expansion. Who is this great man? Well, the world lost him some years ago. Fortune at the bottom of the pyramid almost describes this great thinker, writer. Nobody taking a chance on that? Perhaps just a little ahead. Not your generation. The answer is Professor C.K. Prahalad. Professor C.K. Prahalad, better known as CKP. On to the next one on your screen. Here we go. One of the founders, his name is Sri Ram. Currently, it's part of a Pune group called the Agarwal Group. Most quizzers should like visiting this place. Which chain of stores are we talking about?
Is it crossword?
Clever, good one, crossword. Well, I think he just took a chance there. Is Kevin on my right? And he said, okay, quiz lover, I should like crosswords. I like my books. 20 to him. On to the next one on your screen now. All these, super fast Asparas.
Lionel Messi.
Explain that to me.
That's the hotel chain that is by Messi only. That's I think a perfume brand which is started by Messi, and I don't know about the sources.com.
Huge Messi fan?
I'll prefer Ronaldo over Messi.
All right. No one gives up even when he contributes a 20 to your kitty, but plus 20 to him. Prefers a Ronaldo over a Messi. Well, it's very interesting. A couple of days ago that after a long time in soccer history, a Ballon d'Or did not have either of them nominated. Look at how the two of them have dominated a sport like that. Here's the next one. On your screens now. It's an unlikely group in India which also owns a soap brand.
Wipro.
Owns a soap brand?
Yes, sir.
Siddhant, superb answer. Very, very well played from I am Sambalpur. It's suddenly becoming a Tom and Jerry match of sorts between NIT Rourkela and I am Sambalpur. They're chasing each other. The others on 20 will have to play out of their skins now as we go to the last one in this round on your screen now. All of these are brands from a gigantic global corporation that you would normally find on a breakfast table. On my right, he's gone for it, is Kevin. Yes, Kevin.
Kellogg's.
Good one. Kellogg's gives him another 20. He's slowly getting there. One more 20 and his belief in himself will change. He seems to be smiling every time he gets it right. He seems to be one of those who just enjoys knowledge, doesn't necessarily want to quiz about it. But he's doing well on 40. The leaderboard will tell us where this contest stands. For now, looks like a two-team battle between NIT Rourkela and I am Sambalpur. But not too far now. On 40, which means one answer away from striking distance, is Kevin from XIMB.
रूठेगा भाई रूठेगा जब खिलौना टूटेगा रूठेगा भाई रूठेगा जब खिलौना टूटेगा.
This is Baby Now. And this is BB Now. Matlab Big Basket Now. Delivering in 10 minutes.
जीतेगा भाई जीतेगा.
As we move to the next frontier of this game, it's time for us to do a little bit of analytical intelligence. Here it is. Quick look at the example that all of you have been watching right through this season of Tata Crucible for campuses. And you very well know, if you've been following this quiz, that it leads you to Nestle, Ferrari, Titan and Alan Solly. And if you apply the formula, there you are. It gives you, on the -1 for the L, you get a T. And if you progress further, it gives you a Tata as the overall answer. Contestants, we've got 4 answers waiting for you. You will hit the buzzer only when you know the overall answer. Hands on the buzzer, 2 attempts allowed, starting with the first one on your screens now. Huge technology giant. N+1, H-1. Oh my God, Ashish.
IBM.
Oh. I would believe IBM processors will be a little slower than the speed at which you answered. +20. Oh, that was really fast. I just get a feeling he got I and went for it or something like that. You got all 3?
Yes, sir.
Wow. All right. From Ashish, that was really lightning fast. As we go to the next one on your screen now. C+1, K+1, E-1 will lead you to a giant from India in a sector that India actually does well in. Manufacturing for a specific sector. He's going for it, Isparas.
HAL. HAL.
HAL. What did you get?
From Deepika A.
Okay.
From Lego L. And I'm guessing first one is H, and you also gave a hint that it's manufactures something specific. So I'm
You
going
didn't
for...
know who called themselves the engineer's choice.
Nope.
All right. The answer would have been Ultratech, which is the cement giant. The answer will give you a +20 and take you to 100 here today. He's doing well from NIT. He wants to win this and go into the zonal. And they, of course, want to stay clear of the others who are now on 20 and 40. So it can be a tight battle as we go to the next one on screen now. The technology company which holds many brand rights, T-2, E-1 and N+1. Go ahead, Siddhant.
BBC.
BBC, -20. Just when he did not want that negative. -20 on BBC. I think he got a B and then went for it, or one of those. Anybody else? Oh, this is a crucial moment, because if Paras gets it right, he's going to put pressure. Go on, answer please.
BSA, cycles, BSA.
BSA. The only thing he did not want was a negative, because he's going to be helping Siddhant with that -20. He just negated Siddhant's -20 by contributing a -20 himself. Crucial. It's not what you get sometimes, it's what the other loses in a quiz competition. Yes? BBK Electronics, all the phone brands that come in from the Chinese market. Final one remaining, hands on the buzzer, 80, 60, 40, 20. The game is suddenly becoming a ladder of a battle. On to the final one. Here we go. R-1, A-1, U-1 will lead you to a very powerful brand in India. At a point in time, a huge monopoly in this country. On my right, Kevin, if he gets it right, he's in the reckoning. Go ahead, Kevin.
VIM. Vim.
Vim.
Yeah.
As in the soap brand. Yeah. +20. Oh, he gets another 20 and he's still smiling. He's on 60 and he's now on par with Siddhant of IIM Sambalpur. This game is far from over as we move to the final frontier. Time for quick thinking. Here it is.
आप भी जॉब ढूंढना स्टार्ट कर दो। टाटा एआईए लाइफ इंश्योरेंस ने हमारे फ्यूचर का दी एंड कर दिया है। मैंने कहा मैम फ्यूचर में है लंबा हॉस्पिटल बिल। वो बोली कंप्लीट हेल्थ कवर है ब्रो, जस्ट चिल। आज फिट रहने के रिवॉर्ड्स, रिटायरमेंट के बाद भी इनकम, सब फिकर फ्री हैं, सब तैयार हैं।
हे पोपट, फिर तुम तैयार क्यों नहीं हो? अब इनका फ्यूचर सिक्योर नहीं पर आपका होगा। टाटा एआईए लाइफ इंश्योरेंस से रहो हर वक्त के लिए तैयार।
यहाँ बायोडाटा भेज देना।
In this final frontier, I'm going to read out 4 questions to you. You will decide when to press the buzzer. +20 if you get it right, -20 if you get it wrong. 2 attempts. If you hit the buzzer and get it wrong, I continue reading the question. Final 4 questions, starting with the first one. It's a 2-word term in the world of finance. It refers to a bond, which is originally an investment grade rating, which means it's a very highly rated bond, but gets reduced to a junk bond status due to the weakening condition of the company. This term may also refer to stocks whose prices suddenly fall from all-time highs. India witnessed these, especially with some top-notch high-growth companies, because certain reports came about and so on, and suddenly the values just nosedive. What's the 2-word term?
Is it credit rating?
-20. He took a shot on that one. What are these stocks or companies suddenly called? No one wanting to risk a negative? Yes? Blue chip is companies which stay there. When a blue chip falls, what do you call them? That's another way of looking at it. The answer is fallen angels. It happened especially in the context of Adani because of the way the stocks plummeted. As we go to the next one, and from fallen angel, little long question, but careful. Here we go. This famous Indian industrialist, philanthropist too, served as the chairman of the historic Anandji Kalyanji Trust, manages Shatrunjaya and other Jain pilgrimage centers in our country. Along with Amrit Lal and Ganesh, He started the Ahmedabad Education Society, which later went on to become the Ahmedabad University. Better known for starting a clothing mills giant in India, how do we know this business tycoon? Huge clothing mills in India from the 1930s. Very big name in India, contributed to Ahmedabad University, the Kalyanji Anandji Trust, or the Anandji Kalyanji Trust in that order. No one trying, no one wants a negative. It's pressure situation between IIM and XIMB. He does not want a negative. The answer that I was looking for is Kasturbai Lalbai, Arvind Mills. Arvind Mills, if you didn't know that, clever if you kept quiet. As we go to the next one, hands on the buzzer. Here we go. It's a type of management where employees are not told about the ideas or the current state of the company. They are given work without being told what is the purpose of your work in this organization. A term for this type of management has been coined with the manner in which something is grown by essentially being kept in the dark and being fed with bullshit. Cultivation of something happens by keeping it in the dark and feeding it with bullshit. It's a style of management where you don't tell your employees anything and keep them in the dark. It's a very popular style of cultivating something that we all eat. Therefore, the style of management. Nobody. You lose nothing. Some of you.
It's mushroom management.
Mushroom. You keep mushrooms typically in the dark to grow.
Yeah.
And then you actually feed it with
Bullshit.
plus 20. Plus 20. You got to believe yourself. From XIMB, he's getting back. Well, it still looks like the final question is going to decide whether it's going to be Siddhant or is Kevin going to upset him, or are we going to go into a tiebreaker? Final question. What a cluster final here today. Two of them neck on neck. Let's see what happens. Here we go. This great entrepreneur in the world of sport controlled Nine Network in the 1980s. Famously sold the network to Alan Bond and then bought it back for less than a quarter of the price. At that time, the media wrote about him and said, his decision to sell Nine to Alan Bond for 1.2 billion before buying it back for 250 million is a legendary example of great entrepreneurship in Australian television. The man is best known to have shaken up the world of cricket with a series that shook the cricketing world. 80s. Both of them, I think, will choose to play the tiebreaker. Too tense a moment for them to take a half chance. They certainly would not have been around in the 1980s. All right. Anybody in the audience who knows cricket history? Kerry Packer, lovely. The Kerry Packer series is absolutely right. He even brought in colored clothing way before it came into being. People were banned because they played the Kerry Packer series. Tough final one for our contestants here. And we'll take a look at the Tata Play binge here. And the scorecard tells us this story. Moving into the zonal final with a confident 80 from NIT Rourkela is Paras. We've got a tiebreaker between IIM Sambalpur and XIM Bhubaneswar, between Kevin and Siddhant. Questions only for the two of you. As we start with the first one, hands on the buzzer. All right, here we go. The boss is nameless, blameless, shameless. Please don't feed his ego. You can't schedule stupidity and Alice in Blunderland. These are all titles of books written by a man named Scott Adams. He narrates his stories through a character and pokes fun at the corporate world. What's the name of this character? It's a common strip of cartoon that you will find in business newspapers. IM versus XIMB. None trying. The answer, Dilbert. Dilbert is the answer I was looking for. As we go to the next one, hands on that buzzer. He was an unassuming writer who loved history. His name, Anant Pai. He decided to give India a series where people would celebrate history and culture. He went on to be known as Uncle Pai to children across this nation. The series that he created is still popular, especially with children and adults. Which series of publications am I describing? Celebrating India's culture and heritage. Oh, he's taking a chance at it. He's played that way actually, is Kevin.
Is it Amar Chitrakatha?
Is it Amar Chitrakatha? One day, Kevin will become a good quiz master because he seems to have more questions than answers. Siddhant won't like this. Kevin goes through. Put your hands together for him. Amar Chitrakatha taking Kevin through. He did not give up. That's the nice part with Kevin. He kept answering in his own unassuming way. He's like some of those middle order batsmen who you do not expect to score a century and then they produce a century. He's played that way here today. But I tell you what, Siddhant is actually going to be telling himself, I should have been in that zonal final. He just missed one or two here and there. I genuinely feel answers like Dilbert were things he should have cracked. But some really good ones, sometimes it works out this way. 60 to 61 as we take a look at the leaderboard. Tata play binge. Well, Para's certainly binging here today. He's on 80 in that super close tiebreaker. Kevin from XIM Bhubaneswar inches past Siddhant of IM Sambalpur into the zonal final. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've got one more cluster to cover in this tour of the nation for Tata Crucible's Campus Quiz 2024. The 24th cluster as we go across the country, not in number, but in total numbers, it would be our final cluster before we identify our final two in the final zonal final. But ladies and gentlemen, that to you was the Odisha cluster, a really nail-biting cliffhanger as we pick two of them into the zonal final. From me, Pick Brain, from my colleague Rashmi Furtado, you were watching Tata Crucible for Campuses 2024. Stay on for the last cluster. Till then, thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.